Everybody, I am so excited to be going live with Anto Philip. We're going to be talking about student entrepreneurship. Give me a second till I have. Hi, Anto. He's here, and I think he should. Yay! Amazing. Hello, hello, hello.
What up, what up, what up? How are you doing?
How are
I'm
you?
fabulous. I am alive, kicking. What's up with you? How's life?
I am good. Is your internet working fine? It is, no?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes,
No one's
yes.
freezing.
Okay.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'm so
That's the
excited.
biggest
So I'll quickly introduce
fear,
this
right?
live. I know you have.
Whenever we do a
Yes.
live stream, the biggest fear is the internet okay? Are people getting frozen? It's genuinely
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
biggest fear.
Nothing. It's
Yes.
all well. You're looking as beautiful as
Let's
always.
go, let's go, let's
So
go.
awesome. So basically, guys, Anto and I've known each other since my time at being in the leadership team of Teach for India. And we were like, we want to get charge up students across the country. We want to like
Yeah.
get them into their full power, and that's how we got in touch with Anto and under 25 and all the amazing work Anto has done. And now I run a foundation for autism and inclusion called Brain Bristle, and that's why Anto is back in my life. I mean, he's always been in my life, but he's back in my life professionally to kind of just charge us up on how do we build a big diverse student community that's just like going out there doing things and making stuff happen. So I am so excited to learn from you, chat with you, and do all we can to take away whatever best we can. So Anto, I'm gonna, there's so much that I can say about you, which is what I'm not gonna do. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. Yeah, let's get going.
Hey, thank you, Devangana. I mean, I've always called you Dev. So I've just known of so much of context in our experience has been through what we've done in the past and specifically Teach for India. And then I've seen the Brain Whistle journey. So a quick context to everyone who's joined the live stream. My name is Anto. Like you said, the best way to sort of introduce is to say what I absolutely love doing. I'm the guy that obsesses about culture, community, and content. I so happen to have the blessing of building something very incredible with students because that's the biggest pain point I had while I was in college. So, building under 25 was always coming from a very personal quest because I thought there was a lot more learning outside of the classroom than within the classroom. So, that's how the under 25 vision came to life. And, ever since day one, I think the obsession has been what does it take to, take the students seriously? And now it's sort of evolved into what does it take to sort of build communities that matter at scale? What does it take to tell stories that impact culture? At the core, at the real core of me, I think I'm just a storyteller, and I love telling great stories. And like one of my bestest friends and greatest mentors tells me, Anto, we are here to live the best story we can tell. So that's literally the quest I'm on, and that is honestly what I'm bringing today in this conversation.
No, you are so creative that I'm always like so inspired by your art and creativity. It kind of like pushes me to push myself more. So it's just amazing to know you as a person. So Anto, like just even I actually don't know the details of this, but talk about how young were you when you started, when you got on your journey of entrepreneurship, building like this idea of student entrepreneurship under 25. I know lots of you will have questions, so
Yeah.
we'll come to those around 7:30. But yeah, like talk a little bit about your 10 years, 12
Of
years.
course, right? So uh, here's the thing. I started off when I was in my second year of UG, which is undergraduate, and I went to Christ University. I started, I was sitting inside my classroom. In fact, I mean, from a very young age, that is literally 18, if I'm not wrong, or 17, crossing 18, I was just this kid that was really always about things that happen outside of the classroom. This could be being a part of a band, this could be music, this could be literally whatever is happening. I would be passionately involved in it, and my life was very enriched outside the classroom. Then I think in my second year of undergrad is when um, I met with Shreyans and Sherwin at the time, who were my two friends, and eventually ended up becoming co-founders. So I went up to them, almost like telling them, hey, listen, I think the future is really going to be other young students who want to build stuff. And I think most people will not take them seriously, because technically parents are going to be like, hey, like, you're still a student and figure your stuff out and then get into doing what you want to do. I said, no, I think there's going to be lots of love and passion for individualism, and just how people are going to be as individuals. So I think that empowerment is really required at a very young age. I didn't have
Yeah.
this kind of wisdom for sure. Of course, I was not so articulate when I with my thoughts. I didn't even know that it would be what it would become. But one thing that I had, very strongly well rooted in myself was that, and this is, I think, about 20, when I was 20 is when I'm really starting under 25, and or 19 is when I'm really starting under 25, and we sort of are obsessing about the fact that there is so much learning outside the classroom. Most of the university is just worried about, or college is just worried about academics. Who's worrying about like student culture, student growth, the kind of access. The one line that I used to sort of keep going back to very regularly was, college life is the time of your, or the phase of your life where you get to do 100 things, and you find out 99 things you don't want to do. So it's the way in which you discover yourself, and I think that is the enriching part about being young. So I think
Yeah.
under 25 was pretty much just that, right? Like, I think the road for discovery, the road to discovery for specifically young people sitting inside colleges. So students are what mattered to me the most. I think the phase of life of being a student is what mattered to me the most. I think because that phase of life is where you are really experimental, where you are really open to doing things that, and also you're fresh, because your worldview, your perspective is not tainted, or you know or rather colored with the limitations that otherwise you would sort of end up having in a life that comes after, which I sort of see very
Yeah.
clearly right now. So irrational optimism is just one of the sort of the truest superpowers that you have being a young person, and specifically when you're a young person, I think it's a lot more important to sort of foster that optimism, and really
Yeah.
empower that phase of life. So that's legit what I think Shreyans and I were able to do, and in our early days, and build a team, and just really be a part of that revolution.
Tell me something like it's a big role of leadership that you took, Anto, like driving a movement, driving young people forward and all of that. What was that like? Because I feel like a lot of young people take initiative, but they aren't sure of themselves to take that initiative. I mean, I work with a lot of young teens, and like I always feel like I'm 18 at heart. So I'm always like wondering, how does it feel to like be the one who's taking initiative and leadership and driving movements forward, and what were your struggles in that? What was like the satisfaction in that? What was like your journey being leading something forward?
I think leadership is definitely an art, right? Like, I think
Huh.
leading teams and leading young teams genuinely takes a lot of lot of commitment, lot of acceptance of letting go of sense of self, or not, I wouldn't say letting go of sense of self, but letting go of just one way of looking at things, because you're sort of now going to embrace the whole.
Hmm.
Leadership is a very, very challenging role to sort of play. I've always been a leader. I've led teams through my entire life in school, college, etc. But I think building your own thing requires a certain level of leadership gravitas that sort of pushes you to the limits, and sort of really takes you into a certain level of acceptance that you are what your team is, or you are capable of achieving what you think the sum total of all of your team's capabilities are. And the way to unlock that is truly the skill or the art that I was talking about. So it's
Yeah.
people make organizations what they are. People make
Mhm.
ideas worth existing. Uh, People make, things that are just, on Excel sheets, or on pitch decks a reality. And I think that's what leadership sort of unlocks. Um, I was a very young leader. I started off directly building a company, no prior experience. I think I've definitely had my fair share of leading teams and doing incredible stuff, and also leading teams without knowing exactly what to do and sort of really seeing failure through the process. So I think there is no sort of glorifying leadership here. I think leadership is a fair share of winning and losing, but I think the willingness to stick it through, and I think just to sort of really have a great time while you're at it, is I think what makes leadership exciting. I started off as a leader, that sort of learned through the process, very hands-on. I continue to be that, and I think it's a very empowering, very enriching, very humbling experience, because you have to lead from the front and you have to go all in, and I think that's the only way that that sort of experience sort of sticks and remains with the people who work with you. So I think it's a collective journey, and I think that's what leadership has taught me. Even today, I think we got acquired last year. I think right now, also, I think leadership has taught me so much about just sometimes letting go, sometimes acceptance, sometimes sort of really embracing the unknown. I think these are all parts of leadership that nobody really teaches you, or I don't think any book can really, or I can ever give a session of gyan and sort of impart that. I think it's to each their own, their style, each person's style is different. And I think but the only way to really do it is to sort of lead and learn from the your own patterns of leadership. And I think
Yeah.
I got that experience quite early on. It's been 10 years of doing that. I think that's what makes it amazing.
Yeah. So tell me, like, how do you think, Anto, like when when you become an entrepreneur, hustler, driving change, talking to big CEOs, like just like doing really big stuff at such a young age, how do you think it changed you? What do you think, like, how do you think it transformed, these 10 years transformed your life? Like, what would you not be had you not gone through this journey?
I mean, see, I used to jokingly say this, and I don't know how much of this is true, but I believe for it to be true. I think at 28, I was doing things that I think most young people in this country would have never sort of had access to do
Yeah.
or would have done. And that was just paramount, right? I think that the grind is real. I was reading this book called The Dip. And what it talks about is what it takes to be in the top 1% of the world is to go through
Yeah.
several dips, with the willingness to come to the other side, because the journey is really not easy, right? It's changed me from within. There were times when I was so fully in the head. I definitely had God complex at one point. I was so egoistic. I was so full of myself. I mean, there is no doubt about all of these things sort of appearing in your journey while you're building something so or driven by something so massive. And
Yeah.
there was definitely a stage when the obsession was towards building the community. There was definitely a phase where, who I am in the process of building the community took more precedence than the community itself. I think all these
Yeah.
are, revolutionary parts of the journey, right? I think,
Totally.
um, um, I think just to go through those cycles and come to realization of these things that are so very human, but at the same time, until you experience it, you don't really understand what it's trying to teach you. So, I mean, I've gone through such transformational experiences, in fair share of good, bad, and ugly, in several cycles. And I believe that every 3 years, a cycle is refreshed, at least the way I saw it. And you get to sort of oscillate at larger levels of intensity. And I got to do that from when I was 18. I think it's just the best decade of my life in terms of the richness of the experience. Would I do anything differently? I think a whole host of things differently, because I don't think it's sustainable to be like that, or to sort of have only that kind of an obsessive mindset. Neither is it, or the absence of it is going to make it any better. I think equanimity, just the right kind of discipline, the right kind of like balance between all worlds, very critical. Am I there yet? Absolutely not. Am I perfect? Definitely not. I think I definitely make an effort right now to be more holistic, uh, more wholesome. Did it change me? Yes. I look at life very differently. Am I as optimistic as I was before? No, I think, lots of things have taught me to sort of really take things with caution, which is definitely something that I want to sort of rewrite for myself. Um, and I think the second guessing, the self-doubt all sort of creeps in as you grow bigger and bigger because there's more to lose. I think
Yeah.
that's why I love being young, right? I think just the fact that there's nothing to lose sort of really puts you in a place of really going out there and doing some things the way you've never done
Yeah.
before. So that is what I will thank this experience for and be grateful for. And again, like as one of my mentors that I was having a conversation with today, told me that, Anto, the way to life, or the journey to the the experience of life can be unlocked with gratitude. I think that's very true. There's so much
Yeah.
power in just being grateful for the whole of it, not just what you thought was good or validating or relevant or powerful. So I always say, I think the first decade, or in my professional career, that's 18 to 28, was so driven by sort of validation, vanity, reputation, proving
Hmm.
myself, getting ahead, sort of really establishing something so powerful. I think that's what the initial drive was so driven by that. But I
Yeah.
think over a period of time I've just sort of evolved to just becoming more, having some more self security and being more secure in the self, not sort of oscillating with other external factors that drive your motivation. So, am I like I said, while this sounds exciting, it's definitely a journey, and I'm still on that journey, and I will always make an effort to keep coming back to it because it's not a once I've gotten the concept, I'm able to live it kind of a thing. It's just through practice.
So and to like I'm now like way into my 30s, but like when I was in my 20s, I've always been in the field of education and on ground work in the field of arts and autism. So like before my ego could even get built, it would get broken down because I was just in like such a risky space all the time. But for somebody like you, like who's building a big empire, student leadership, student entrepreneurship, big summits of like attended like by thousands of people, each time you had a fall, what did it take to rise again? How did you like rally yourself into it? Because I feel like more young people are like you than like me, and that's why like I'm curious to know, how did you push yourself to start again and reach heights?
I mean, see, the honest answer is, it's ridiculously hard. It's just
Wow.
so so hard and
I can't
painful.
even imagine.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
and the larger you want to play the game, or the bigger you want to get, or the stakes at which you operate as it keeps increasing, the sort of challenges, or like I said, the dip becomes deeper for you
Totally.
to sort of
Falling
really,
from a bigger
yeah,
height.
yeah. So it's just the nature of it. It's there
Yeah.
is, and I mean, of course, it happens in different ways, eh? And the way to sort of really understand it conceptually is it's you take it's courage that leads you to take the risk, and but it's the consequence of the risk that you eventually sort of have to deal with, right? Like it's always going to be there, and there's one or the other. There's as 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 I would say, is there's collateral beauty to everything, and there's collateral damage. It's just how it is. Um,
Totally.
so was it? How did I pick myself back up? I think I, I genuinely think a support system really helps. I think believers, people who believe in you, just sort of backing you, that trust, in who you are and how you are. I think that's very powerful. Um, it is very important to sort of surround yourself in the moments of falls with the right kind of energies, because like it can really throw you into a spiral. But I think it's
Go
like I
totally.
said, um, I've sort of picked myself up, or like others have picked me up in the process several times through multiple rises and falls. And I think, just knowing that, and being grateful to that, and being more present to that. And like I said, not attaching emotional value to a peak, or to a
Hmm.
fall might be a
Yeah.
great, wise learning that I've had over a period of time. But that didn't come too quick or easy, right? I think it's just it's like you said, you go through it to sort of really, and once you realize the only way is through, you sort of embrace your fears and really, and we're all hiding some kind of a of sort of a innate insecurity in the process of building something. So
Yeah.
it's just how it is, and I've come to realize and come to accept that not every time do you end up sort of picking yourself up either. Sometimes you just continue to go through that self-doubt, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah.
also
I
equally
in
fine.
Bombay where half the people never rise back
Back, yeah, yeah,
ever, right?
right.
Like, yeah,
So
it's sad, but it's the truth.
it's challenging, and sort of I think just believers and supporters, and just I think if you've done the job of just doing right by with complete conviction and deep integrity, I think it pays, it returns, it resolves, it
Yeah.
resurrects, it re-energizes you in the process. So I
So
think
Anto, like I know like it can get depressing to talk about like our falls and how do you rise, and I think like it takes a lot of conviction and who you are as a person to be able to rise. But how did you deal with all like at a very young age? You had like fans and women, like even right now I can see like Anto, like like people just like fanning, like you like loving you. How did you deal with all this, almost like a celebrity-ish hood when you were so young?
I mean, to be
Did it like
candidly honest with
get
you,
to you? Like, did you like talk a little bit about that?
yeah, I think
Somebody's laughing. They're just like ha 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 ha. Ha. Yeah,
see, I think there's obviously the Anto that craves for that attention and that validation that definitely existed, and that's good, right? I think it sort of solves for some dire wound growing up. Um, and honestly, did it get to my head? Most certainly, I think there were phases in my journey that would take precedence over anything else, and there were phases in my journey where I was well aware of that not letting control me, right? But I think, like I said, I think it was about 3 years back or some such that come to realize that if you are going to rise, you're going to fall. If you're going to fall, you're going to rise. Only if you don't attach yourself to the peaks and the lows. It's very clear to me right now that everything is transient. Nothing is really permanent. So when that attention that you get, right, like it's going to be great right now, and then it's over a period of time going to be inconsequential. And I mean, if I have to really get existential about it, we're barely here for 4,000 weeks. And I mean, if we really attach ourselves to that level of all of that, then I think the absence of it will break you. The presence of it will make you. You're giving too much control to what everyone else's opinion about you is, which is definitely, I think, something that I have put significant effort into sort of grow and live out of. Um, and I appreciate the fact that I have at least a few people who care about me or give a damn or look forward to seeing me, or are thrilled to sort of hear a few things that I have to share or have concerns about my opinions or about where I am and what I'm doing. I think these are all very, and look, I'm very grateful. Like when I say very grateful, I am ridiculously grateful, but I don't want to sort of attach so much value to it that I cease to exist without it.
yeah,
So now I've come to sort of that level of self assurance and security with a lot of practice, with a lot of time, and with a lot of course, just learnings through the process of doing what I'm doing. So I think
yeah,
that's what sort of really rooted me, and definitely I think my parents play a very important role in grounding me and humbling me. Om
yeah,
sir, who's here, who's my first investor, first believer, one of the people who's held my hand through several phases of my rises and falls. It's just, I think these are all people that just look at you in the eye at the right moment and tell you exactly where you stand. And I think that the
Yeah,
willingness to sort of just give you that unabashed, honest, just love and
yeah.
affection that just heals you in more ways than one. So I think I'm very grateful for that.
No, 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 totally. Like I know that whenever I've got even like minutely successful, I have like my
Hmm,
family and my friends just looking at me like, "Acha, chalo ghar pe aao, kaam karna hai." like
exactly.
like the moment I try to rise, like they're just like humble down, right? So I think like it's helped me a lot through almost half my life now. So Anto, like with Brain Bristle, I believe that some of the biggest artists, creators, thinkers, like entrepreneurs had in history have been undiagnosed on the spectrum of autism. So that's why I believe in the cause of autism and inclusion, and that's why I run Brain Bristle. But it takes a lot of energy to ride, like to rally up students and get them like active and running and pushing and all together towards the same cause. And I know I've worked with some big organization and schools and tried to do that and been successful some of the times. But I'd love to hear from you, like a big community of thousands of students coming together for under 25 summits, or like when you're doing college summits. Like, how do you do that? How do you keep the student body alive towards one cause, one dream, one vision, one mission? Like, how do you do it?
I think to be candidly honest with you, it's just the word I keep going back to it is integrity, right? Like you have to be really, you really one really needs to have integrity to the cause or the purpose that you're after. I think
Yeah,
um, see, again, right now I'm blessed with, a great, after 2023, we finished the summit, we got acquired. And I think even now what I see in the acquisition through Collective Artist Network is that's the same belief in the student community. I think you need one belief in all of your partners sort of loving the kind of impact that the community can bring. Community doesn't pay, culture doesn't pay. I mean, these are all like great terms, but it's not it's not revenue generating in any sense, right? So I think the
yeah,
integrity to just serve without a certain level of I mean, there's no agenda. At the end of the day, I think I really, just really, really wanted this for myself when I was a student, for someone to look at me and say, Anto, we trust you, or we take you seriously. Go ahead, do what you have to do. I think I just wanted to sort of pass on that baton and really just look at a student who is filled with optimism and say, you got this, or you can,
yeah,
or we will
yeah,
make it, or this
yeah,
is this is much more than your certificate or your course or the marks that
yeah,
you scored. I think these tiny things go a long way. I mean, you have no idea the number of people who would have come to me at airports, or like randomly I'll be walking on the street, or Santo, we were in 2023, a part of Hustlers Collective. We were here at this time. We were here at that time. I think the fact that when I was in college, sitting and saying, okay, oh, whatever, like I can do this. Someone look at me and say, hey, you're just in college, like, figure out, like, study, get some experience, come back. Never sort of really made sense to me because, dude, I can do so much. Why are we behind the sort of structure that doesn't empower us to sort of do the things that we want to do? And
yeah,
why does it take for me to be 32 years old to pitch my first idea, right? Like it shouldn't
yeah,
be the case for any young
yeah,
person in this country. And I think see, I'm in no way uh, at this point full of myself to say that I think I've done something unbelievable. I think I just did something so personal to me that I wanted someone to do for me, to as many students as I could in my living, waking life, touch and impact. And I think that
yeah,
that felt real, that felt authentic, that stayed true, and that is the only way to do it. Maybe there
yeah,
are other ways. I've never tried it. And the only way that
right,
I'm aware of is it needs to really vibrate or sync and resonate with the kind of quest you're after. And that's the same with me, right? When I'm creating content as a Malayali, it's the same thing. It's so me. It's literally how I grew up. It is literally what I watch. It's literally how my parents are. It's literally how I love my roots, and I think I was ashamed growing up just to accept where I came from, because there was this identity crisis. Like, am I a Malayali? Am I a Bangalorean?
Yeah.
Is if I say I'm a Malayali, will
Yeah.
people make fun of my accent?
Yeah.
I'm like, screw it, dude. This is who I am, and I want to fully own it.
Yeah.
And I love my roots. I love where I'm from. I love that
Yeah.
there is so much that is so truly uniquely me and us. And I think that is powerful. I think just to tap into that, everybody has that unique version of themselves that they can tap into. And if you're just there, you can sort of see so much more value in the world that you can give than just the titles and the roles you play in the world. So I think that's what I want to tap into, and I want to let other people sort of discover through the process.
Just to talk a little bit about like two kinds of struggles, and like I know we've talked about your personal struggles with from such a height, when you fall it's really like it takes a person to be able to stand up again. But like being a content creator, what are the struggles that you face? Like I'm sure like there's anxiety and there's panic, and am I saying the right thing, and thousands of people, millions of people will watch this and all of that. So that's one. And the second is like the struggles of leading so many people into action, into movement, into energy, right? Like what are the struggles that you faced with these two realms of work?
So, um, so exciting. See, I think one of
Dude,
the struggles.
I'm asking you this actually like from a personal space, because
Yeah,
like
yeah,
even if I like write one essay, like I get a panic attack for 3 days. I'm just like
yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
fuck,
yeah,
fuck, fuck, fuck. I hope it
yeah.
was right. I hope it was good. But I think because I'm a
Mm.
perfectionist at heart, whereas I think you're just like Malayali masti karunga. Like I'll go out and I'll make content, and I just want to learn like what are your struggles with that, or like under 25 thousands of kids in the heat selling water, doing this, doing that, like how do you do it? I just don't know. Teach me.
Eh, I think the biggest endemic or the crisis that we're always going to be faced with is as a generation is overthinking. Uh, we're so in the head. I am so in the head that I think I would have been 1,000 times more than who I am today if I was able to let go of how much I'm in my head and how much I'm thinking about what other people think about me. See,
Yeah.
look, there are two perspectives that I'd like to offer today. Number one is I could either be, which I am currently, is constantly worried about. I palpitate before putting out a video or talking or even the stream or whatever, right? Like I'm very confident. I'm a performer, so okay, cool, that's fine. I still sort of will do that. But the larger problem is, how do I do it? Will they think this? Will they think that? Is this right? Is this wrong?
Yeah.
Is there a spelling mistake? Is it, it's a thousand things to keep living in the head. But guess what? If you didn't put it out, it never existed.
डर के आगे जीतते हैं
I
है ना?
mean,
हाँ.
it never
Yeah.
existed. Even
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Agree.
opinion didn't exist if it didn't go out, or if the movement was never built. There would be no story of a rise or fall. There will be no story
Yeah.
of a brain bristle or an 125 or an Anto or
Totally.
whatever. So that is one part. The
Totally.
second part is there's so much to be grateful for, that there are at least 1,000 people. That's more people that you can fit in a house or a small hall that are willing to click follow or willing to like bash you, willing to
Yeah.
say you are bad or say you are good or whatever. That the fact that someone in the living, waking life in the 24 hours that they are alive per day has chosen to give a damn about you is something to be grateful for. It's just such a
Yeah.
blessing. And I think if you are just able to look at life that way as opposed to living in the head, I think we all can unlock better versions of ourselves. I think
Yeah. Now
it's just
like I
right
know
there.
we've got 6 minutes, and I know like I have two very important questions to ask of you.
Yes.
One is like living beyond yourself, right? So you're constantly creating
Yeah.
content, you're doing shit, you're going to campuses. like this Instagram, social media, going out in public spaces created this culture of like do I like you? Does he like you? Does he like your post? Did he comment? Right?
Yeah.
Like this liking culture sometimes hurts our confidence or wins our confidence. Honestly, I don't understand it, so I don't give a fuck. But like I'm curious about you because you are like leading a movement where all this validation almost becomes not emotionally but socially important,
Yeah.
right? What would be your advice to young people who are like creative content creators?
I mean, to be candidly, again, so much of what I do is um, is consumer first. It's front facing. It's people first. Um, so it's very important to feel like you're liked or whatever. People are looking at what you're doing, and there's so much judgment that goes into it. I think um, please, I am telling myself this. I have not cracked it, so please don't take this as advice. Is don't take yourself so seriously. Don't. It's fine, dude. Like, what is it? What
Yeah,
is it really?
yeah.
Don't
So,
take yourself
कुछ
so
बकवास
seriously.
जा रही है
It's
क्या?
okay. Whatever. Like, okay, cool. You built a movement. So what? Okay, you today you're not building a movement. You're building something else. Cool. Why is your identity attached to what is going to make people like turn and look at you? I think it should be attached to sort of being curious. It should
Yeah,
be attached to giving everything a chance, because unless you tried, you never know. And I think if you are able to sort of approach it with that lens, everything is possible. And especially
yeah,
movements and stuff like that is just complete submission. I think surrender is a very important part of the journey.
exactly. I love that.
You are not
I love
you are
that.
not part of a movement until you surrender yourself to the movement. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
So
totally,
um,
totally.
and that's a total journey. So that's what I would like to say. And one more thing is, just quickly, for everyone watching this live, can you just like leave a comment if you're intently listening to this? Just come in the chat. What are you all thinking? What do you want
Lots
to
of people have
say?
left comments. I don't know if you
Yes.
want to quickly answer
No, I've been
those
looking at
because
it, but I think still there'd be a bunch of people who are just silently watching it. Just drop
yeah,
a
drop a
message,
comment,
or
drop a
just a
heart
heart,
for
or
Anto.
a fire or something, dude. Just give validation. Okay, so
Okay,
quick questions. I think
and
there's
one, like I have two questions for you. I know you have
yes,
to run for a flight, but I have
yes.
two questions for you. So the second part is struggles with like building like student entrepreneurship, because I think like खुद को build करने में you can like pick yourself up and drop, but like leading people and dropping and like struggles with that. What have been those?
Leading
Leading
people.
big teams, leading big summits.
Oh, I think um, uh, I think larger learning that I've had is just really focus on the fundamentals, like really empower the core. It's like how when you go to workout, like your trainer keeps telling you focus on the core,
That's
because then all of your other exercises becomes easy because literally it's connected. I think core is very important. Core could be values, core could be systems, core could be structures, core could be philosophies that sort of bind a force together. So I think it's very important to have a strong core. It's also core in the real sense is what sort of will get you through the in workout terms, it'll get you through the last reps where you feel like it's practically impossible. So repetition is key, and doing it with the right core and building your core is crucial, and that should be built with fundamentals is my learning. I mean, this is where I
that's
genuinely made
beautiful. I
mistakes,
love that.
and I think that's where it's powerful to do stuff.
That's amazing because I remember like when being invited for under 25 summits, like your whole team was reaching out to me, which just shows how empowered
Yeah,
they were, and
yeah.
that was amazing. Okay, I know you have to run, but one last question before we open it up to your thoughts or any questions there. But you're getting married. Talk a little bit about what's happening and how does it feel to be a groom in a month's
Dude,
time,
no
and
one
like
no
your
one knows
multi.
it. It's the first time I feel like anyone here is gonna
Yay!
find
I
out.
get to
So
announce
that is
your wedding.
that's ridiculous, which I will sort of announce to my audience very soon. So
Yeah.
hence this is just a silent sneak peek, and of course nobody knows anything, so I'm not gonna reveal too much. But I
Okay.
think what I'm very excited about is to tell everyone on the stream that you should show up in the comments of a video that I'm going to be posting day after tomorrow. It is a very special announcement, and this is technically a sneak peek of what I think will happen as I walk in the next phase of my life.
I am so excited for
Nikhil, who's
you.
here, who's been obsessively commenting, is a dear friend who's very closely involved in this process. So he's asking, will I marry him? Nikhil, definitely. I think it's part of the deal. Then we have Om sir who's shown up. I think he's just the dearest, my dearest believer and mentor and investor. Everything that Shraddha is here who said needed to hear this, which I'm very grateful for. There's Namita here. Thank you for joining the live. Tanu, hi. And yeah, to everyone else who showed up. There's Hades. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your name. Can I pitch you my startup? For sure, just DM me. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, lot more on next phase of my life, marriage, and what's coming ahead of me in my journey will be disclosed in the coming couple of days. But for everybody who's here, here's a little, what do you call that, Easter egg that you've received exclusively because of this live stream. So yeah,
Yeah.
um, thank
Okay,
you.
and last thing, like one piece of advice to anybody 18 who was like Anto, right? Like ambitious, excited, energized, creative. Like, what would be one piece of advice to them, and any other thoughts before we close out? Because like you're such a star that I want everybody to get the most out of this time that we get when you're not creating content but actually chatting with thousands of people.
I think this is my one line for life. I think I hold on to it so dearly is do small things with great love. Um it's always that will sort of really take you far and really push you beyond the dips and the falls. These are small things with great love will always remain so powerful to who you become and what you do. The small things are every single thing. It's talking to a friend. It's being there for being present in every single moment that involves you and the whole of you. Is doing small things with great love. So
That's
I think I've
amazing.
always held on to that, and I think it's made me the kind of person that I am today. And the times that I've forgotten that, it's really derailed me and taken me to only sort of look at a version of me or the big things that people think is valuable is what I've gone after. So my reminder to myself and to everyone here is do small things with great love.
And honestly, like I fully echo that. I think like whatever you do, do it with love and it will turn out well.
Absolutely.
I agree. Anything
Absolutely.
else before we close out? Anything
No,
else?
absolutely.
Any questions that you want to quickly scroll through and answer?
We have to ask the audience. What do you all
Huh.
want
Any
me to answer?
questions, guys, before we let Anto go away? What is that,
It's a
Anto?
banana. It's a banana.
Oh, dude. Questions. Let me see.
Yeah, I used to do this uh, TBH live quite some time back, and I used to play with so many filters. I'm just getting memories.
That's awesome. I'm
This
still getting the
param,
hang of these
this
things.
param will soon become a parambari. Do you get what that means? This banana will soon become
That,
banana fritters.
that's amazing.
It's ridiculous. Okay, cool. So I think yeah,
Okay, cool.
that brings us to the end of this
That
live, and
uh so I think like somebody is just saying the only thing Anto struggles with is being more awesome, because like I really think you could be even more awesome. Like you could like take over South India.
yeah,
Like just like take over India.
that's the plan.
Run
That's the plan. That's really the
run for
plan.
prime minister. Come on.
Come on, let's do
That's
it.
what we need.
And for PM, and for
Yeah,
PM.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
I
awesome.
love you so much. I love you so much, and I can't wait to hang out with you, see you at your wedding, and just like make do amazing things with Brain Bristle, so that 5 years from today, when we're doing amazing work, you're just like, yep, that's the organization that I loved so much when it just started off. So thank you
Absolutely.
so much, and
Absolutely.
I love you for everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was
Say
pure
bye and see
joy
you soon.
being here. I'll see you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. See you. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining. And I'm sure Anto is thrilled because of all this
It
love,
is.
as am I. Thank
I'll
you
see
so
you in
much, guys.
DMs. Everyone else who joined, thank you so much. Lots of love. Send some
And I'll
hearts.
post
And
this to anyone who wants to listen to this chat, send questions. Thank you so much. Love you guys.
bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye, Anto. Love you. Bye. Bye. Bye.